Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. God almighty, my computer is really grinding slow tonight. I hope everybody can see me. I've just been flapping and faffing because I was sure that we'd had 2 submissions for painting competition from the community this month. And I can only find the one from Darren, Demon Sub. So, if you did send me a submission for the humour theme, which we're going to be talking about, please message get in the chat and tell me where you sent it to. I've checked Instagram, emails, Messenger, Discord, and the only one I can find is Darren's. Discord. I might be wrong and imagining completely fictionally that somebody else did submit something, but I thought I'd seen something, and I don't know. I thought it was you, Paul, but I thought it was you. Did you send us something for humour? Because I found the only... Right, okay, so it is Paul. Right, okay, so I will get on that. Well, we'll get the show rolling. If you sent me something for humour theme, Paul, then I'm going to get the show rolling, and then I'll crack on. I only found the email from March, so I'll have to look harder. But yeah, okay, that's fine. Anyway, after that little interlude, and everybody who's new to the channel is thinking, what the fuck is he talking about? Well, give us context, guys. Give us context.
Technical difficulties
the bingo card. Good evening. Welcome to another Thursday night live stream with us here at Yellowbellytabletop. I'm out of coffee and I need to go and get a beer. Actually, I bought beers especially for the occasion, and I've left them in the kitchen. So anyway, let's start by giving a shout out to all of the guys in the chat. We've got Spam and Egg, who is David's other half. I think we had Shakos and Sprues in super early, first man in the chat. Yeah, we've got Darren Harmon, also known as Demon Sub. We've got Paul Howells of Pandyman Entertainment. We have Because of Ben or Crispin. Good evening to you, sir. At Ewok Kebab. Good to see you, mate. So yeah, admin difficulties. We've got a new hashtag. Go Darren, go Darren. So yeah, welcome to our regular Thursday night spot. We will, for those of you who are new to the show, let's give you the little précis that we stick at the front of the show every time we do it. What we're going to be talking about tonight, let me just adjust my camera because I'm sure we want me in shot. That would be a good idea, Paul. There we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? Is that? Well,
you know, I am the host. Your ugly mug?
Little sparkly.
Yeah, but
shut up, critic. So yeah, we're going to follow our usual format over the next couple of hours. Good. Please do, Paul. Please do. Because that'll be easier for me to find, and then I can get it uploaded and added to the gallery. First of all, we're going to show you what we're going to be hobbying on, because it's a hobby live stream after all. So if we're not doing any work, it doesn't really count now, does it? Then we will tell you a little bit about what we got up to Monday night at our regular gaming club get together. And again, David, no pictures because we're idiots. And
and me and Paul co-op the shit out of this. So unfortunately, it's just one thing. Boys and girls,
share the game, so we've only got one thing to talk about. Yeah, well, look, hey, Darren, you've demystified it for everybody. That's great. Now everybody knows your alias, Demon Sub, is displayed. There's the homework for the rest of chat. Come on, sort your lives out. Darren can do it. Why not the rest of you? Then we've got a couple of bits of news to share with you, and then we can just sort of chat some shit. Well, we'll also discuss the painting competition, which we had. I don't know what the next cycle is. That's another thing I need to look up.
I know what it is. Champion.
David's on the case. Good man. And then about 9 o'clock, or maybe a little bit earlier, we will tell you all about Sunday and our experience at Diceni 2024, the Wargaming, well, I say Wargaming show, the gaming show in Norwich. So all sorts of gaming there, tabletop gaming. And there we go. That's what we're going to be up to tonight. So while I go and grab a beer, mate, do you want to tell everybody what you're going to be hobbying on?
Yeah, shall we go down to my desk cam?
Let's go to David.
Let's go down to David's desk cam.
Look at that.
Where you get beer.
Okay. Look at that. He can show you by the power of actually doing it. So here's David. Here's
mainly tonight painting trees.
Hello, Cheeseme.
I've got
over to David. Go, David. I'll be back in a sec.
So I've got these woodland scenics armatures to paint up. Yes, it's a bit bright. Yes, it's English uniform. Yes, it's not really a tree colour. We're going to cure that with the application of Agrax Earthshade and then a dry bush probably of some green grey. Once these are then done, I need to dry brush all the bases, and these go into like a module. And then once that's all done, we're gonna hit these with this word I'm looking for and I can't find it.
Base.
Spray adhesive.
All right. Yep.
Spray adhesive and then dip these in clump foliage. So that is mainly what I'm doing tonight. I'm on tree number 2 and I've got a lot still to go at. So this is going to be a fun evening, boys and girls.
An entire table's worth. I will try and get my...
Yeah, pretty much an entire table's worth.
Right. My camera should now be working. So...
We're going to just pile.
Not
a bad colour for my wood, apparently.
I think it'll be work. I mean, at the end of the day, what you want is something that's got some green notes, some brown notes. And like I said to you, if it's a bit too intense and a little bit too bright, just kill it with a wash. It'll look fine. So Darren is building alien bug harvesters from Wargames Atlantic for his 5 parsecs variant bug hunt.
Oh, what is bug hunt like, Darren? Because I still haven't started any of my 5 parsecs bullshit yet, so I need to be a better human being and get on with
that. Musical interlude from Shakos in chat. My God, that's such a dad joke. But that is genius. I like it. Sorry, mate. You carry on.
No, I'm just waiting for Darren's answer.
So, what is the bug hunt? Is it actually a supplement for 5 parsecs, or is it what?
Yeah, is it a supplement? Is it making the game PvP multiplayer, or what are we at on this? Let me know.
Are you gonna? Go on.
No, go on. You were saying.
Well, I was just gonna tell everybody what I'm gonna be working on tonight. Am I right in thinking we're doing Frostgrave this week coming?
Yes, we are doing Frostgrave on Monday.
Darren says not played it yet, but it's a stripped down version that puts you against hordes of aliens, more like a tabletop version of Space Hulk. Okay.
Okay, so it's like a dungeon crawly kind of thing.
And it is a standalone game, so it's not actually related to 5 parsecs. It's just a standalone game called Bug Hunt. Okay, cool. Shakos, he's still nursing a hangover for being out to 3 a.m. for the work's birthday party, so just listening in. Fair enough, mate. You mop your fevered brow. So, bearing in mind we've got Frostgrave next week, I better fucking get my finger out and finish these goddamn fetish stands for this scenario we're playing. So, that's what I'm cracking on with.
You could always give them to Spam, and Spam could get them finished.
So, no. Well, no, I can do... I mean, Jesus Christ, if I can't get this finished, I need to get myself sorted out. Because, you know, what is there? 4 colours to paint on them. Jesus, man. Right, let's get on. Let's actually do some work tonight.
Actually, before we start talking
let's show off
what we did at club,
let's show off to everybody what I'm working on. Hang on, because I never went. So here we are, guys. You've seen them before. If you're a regular, you know what I'm talking about, because Paul drags projects out for weeks on end, even tiny little insignificant projects that a real human being would get done in a few hours. Yeah, we're still working on
I do stuff on hard mode.
Yo, what's more embarrassing? I'm Captain Easy Shortcut, and I still fucking don't get stuff done. Right, okay, that's that dealt with. That allows me to turn off this camera and get Paul's photograph for the flipping painting competition.
Yeah.
So
while we're doing that, shall we tell boys and girls about a purchase that we made this week?
Yeah, go on then.
That I made this week on your behalf.
Yeah, go
on. Boys and girls, we're getting into Fallout Wasteland Warfare. I have
us and everybody else.
The Raiders. Yeah, well, more on that in a minute. That's in the news section. But
sorry, spoilers.
I've got the Raiders core box and Survivors coming because I wanted to have 2 playable factions so that I can also play solo if I really fancy it. And
Paul, you are such a fucking troll. Right? Okay, sorry. Carry on.
Paul bought the Institute core box and the Institute leader expansion, plus the dice. So watch this space, boys and girls. Fallout Wasteland Warfare coming to a table at some point soon.
You're such a troll. Okay. Yes, so I'll be honest. I am very much jumping in on Wastelands Warfare more as the helpful friend who wants to see the other person enjoy.
The willing victim.
Not at all begrudgingly. But as I say, it's very much, this is something that's David's excited to play. So, you know, that's what you do for friends, isn't it? You jump in with them. The Institute appealed to me because they're a little bit weird, and I know the Institute don't feature hugely in the games. Is it Fallout 4 that they're a big part of the plot?
It's only Fallout 4. Yeah.
But yeah, all that synth and robots, you know, androidy stuff, that sort of appealed to me. So we'll give it a go. I am quite intrigued to explore Wasteland Warfare. Because I think, yeah, Cheeseby says, I heard Fallout had a TV series. I think I heard that somewhere. I can't remember where.
More on that later.
Well, that's that. Do you know what? There is Cheese Me. Where did I see that? I'm sure I've seen a breakdown of Fallout factions on. I think it was a blog. It wasn't a video, but there was a blog. Somebody has done quite an in detail breakdown of all of the Wasteland Warfare factions and their play styles. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the video description, but it shouldn't take too much Google foo.
I found it on a Reddit post, I think, somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I can find it for you.
I think...
Shakos, if you're going to get on the Modifius sale, do it fucking quick. It's on its last few days. Just as a point of note out there.
Oh, well, one thing I will.
Paul, stop spoiling our news.
One
There's
thing
an article that we have.
one thing. Paul's had it now. One thing that I will say about Wasteland Warfare is that there are definitely no shortage of options when it comes to your factions.
It's a little intimidating,
Yeah.
to say the least, when you get started, isn't it?
Yeah. But then again, I don't know. I think they've done a pretty good job in terms of marketing and that, of making the boxes, the way the products are marketed, the boxes options, it's all very, there's a core box for a faction, and then there's add-on boxes with character models and more expensive, clever stuff. So I think they've done a pretty bang-up job, to be fair to them, in the way that it's structured. There is a lot. I mean, I couldn't even begin to... Because the thing is, as well, some of the big ones, like Raiders, there's sub-factions, isn't there?
Yeah, there's Gunners, Forged, what's the other ones? And then the new stuff that they're bringing out for Fallout Factions, which is the Disciples, Operators, and the Pack. It all gets a little bit complicated and hairy.
I mean, I'll be honest, Shakos, I agree with you. They probably are close to selling things at trade for them, or break even point, but it's all about establishing a consumer base, isn't it? If you can hook people, and then they stick around. Once the sale ends, they'll expand on their sales. Cheese Me asks a very good question, and this is probably more for you, mate. Do you have to know or understand Fallout in order to pick a faction?
Depends. So the long and the short of it, if we can find the article after in the Reddit post link, it's actually a really good abridged version of what happens. So most factions are good at most things. So shooting, melee combat, they have like specialists for each role. It depends a lot on what flavor you want to play and good guy versus bad guy interpretations. Because again, the Enclave in Fallout and the setting as a whole are sort of portrayed as the bad guys. They're sort of what's left over of the pre-war government. But you can take that and put your own spin on it. It's a lot of heavy power armor, quite expensive. You compare that with the Raiders. The Raiders are cheap as fucking chips, mainly melee focused. They have some shooting, but not too much. They work a lot around like the chems in Fallout. So they use chemicals to buff their stats. Brotherhood of Steel are quite good at shooting and power armor, obviously. Yeah, you find stuff that you like the look of.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to come in after David had finished Cheese Me. I've played about 10 or 20 hours on New Vegas. That's the only contact I have with the Fallout franchise. That and watching the TV show. I literally did like I literally looked visually at what the factions were, and I thought, does that look interesting or not? Like the NCR, which have got that sort of like slightly dishevelled modern day soldier look, again, didn't really do anything for me.
You quite liked the look of Caesar's Legion, didn't you?
The Roman, the pseudo-Roman look of the Caesar's Legions I like, and you get one, as you guys who watch the show regularly know, I'm a sucker for anything with dogs in it. Any faction that can field a lot of
Paul loves a bit of dogging, boys and girls. You heard it here first.
Any faction that can field a host of canine models, they would be like, look at that. And the Caesar's Legion has some canine units, don't they? Some dog units.
Yeah.
But ultimately, again, I've never played Fallout 4, so I don't know anything at all about the Institute, but when you look at them, they're like sort of like weird doll-like androidy models plus scientisty types in hazmat suits and weird assassins.
Clean room suits.
Again,
Yeah.
you just look at the models and you just think, yeah, they look pretty cool. So I'll go with them. So in answer to your question, I don't think you need to know or anything at all about the franchise because there are roots into it. The only thing I would say, and David and I we're a bit of a broken record on this, mate, aren't you? Which is the try before you buy. The actual game system itself has got quite a complicated coloured dice mechanic. It's custom dice.
D20, D20 custom for skill checks measured against like what's referred to as your special stats from the game. So strength, perception, intelligence, they all key off in a similar way to the RPG what you can do. And then there's modifiers with the D12s that are green, yellow, black, or blue. And depending upon the modifier that you roll, and those particular dice do particular things. So, like greens improve accuracy, yellows improve your likelihood of breaking armor, etc., etc. Yeah. That's where it gets more nuanced and messy.
Yeah, if you like I say.
But again, Modifius absolutely killing it. Free rules available to download off the website.
That's
so
true.
Have a look.
That is true. I mean,
you could proxy something and rope your friend in.
Yeah, the custom dice pack's like a tenner. Let me see if I can find that article.
We even have a conversion chart for converting.
Oh, what, for using normal dice?
Yeah, they do.
Because the D20 is actually a D10 with duplicated results, isn't it? Because I was watching a battle report.
There's no one, I don't believe. I believe it's always
there's like, and then some of the numbers on the dice are replaced with things like auto fail or no, that's not.
I'll tell you when I found it. It was Monday. Bear with me. Will only be 2 minutes.
We'll see who's quicker. I'm not sure if mine was a. Yeah, here it is. I think this is the one. We probably looked at the same one, mate. It's Reddit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Accept all. Hello.
Anyway, while Paul's doing that, we'll talk a little bit about what we did at club this week, shall we? While you're pulling that up?
Yeah.
So this week at club, as those that are regulars here will know, the first Monday of most months tends to be what we refer to as board game week. We tend to give a game an opportunity to shine at the beginning of the month. So this month we played some Arkham Horror LCG, didn't we, Paul?
We did indeed. If any of you guys know the Arkham Horror living card game, it's not long had its most recent campaign box released, Feast of Hemlock Vale, I think it's called. I've already completed one solo playthrough of it, but I thought we'd try and play the campaign at club. It's only 6 games versus a normal 8 for an Arkham Horror LCG campaign. So even if we play it once a month, that's like it's 2 months less. So yeah, I brought along some ready-made decks, and David V and I sat down and we did the first mission of the Hemlock Vale campaign. And
Well,
it
we
was
did the prelude and the first mission, didn't we?
well, yeah. The preludes are a sort of special thing for Hemlock Vale. They're like mini missions that you do before each of the main missions, hence the term prelude. But it again, Fantasy Flight likes to mix things up each time they release a campaign for Arkham Horror Living Card Game. There tends to be a new mechanic or a new shtick, and these preludes are very much the shtick for this Hemlock Vale campaign. But it was great. So essentially, I'm playing what's his name? Fucking hell, mine's gone complete blank.
I know I'm playing Rex Murphy.
You're playing Rex Murphy, the cursed alcoholic investigative reporter.
Aren't you playing Tommy Sullivan?
No, not Tommy Muldoon. It's oh fucking hell. The ex-soldier with his PTSD and his troubled memories of his girlfriend Sophie. Oh Christ. It'll come to me anyway. So I'm playing, as I say, a troubled ex-soldier. David's playing an alcoholic, cursed investigative reporter, and V's playing the sort of the post woman, Stella Clark, who's haunted by basically she works as a postwoman, and as she's delivering letters, she keeps finding letters addressed to her in her bag, which is like just weird and fucked up. So yeah, and we went to this remote island called Hemlock Isle off the northeastern coast of the United States, and basically there's this messed up village where all these people are acting a bit fucking weird, and we're accompanying.
They're all a little bit culty.
Yeah, it does have very much Wicker Man vibes for anybody who remembers that film and has seen it, either the original or the remake. And we're accompanying a group of scientists from the Arkham University who are investigating the fact that all of the wildlife on this Hemlock Isle appears to be like something out of a fucking weird alien horror movie, with like melded
plants are almost grafted together beautifully, but there's no evidence of the fact that they're grafted.
Yeah, so
they're actually naturally forming and growing like that, and it's like, the fuck.
So yeah, and so we talked to the people in the village who basically, frankly, all seem to have issues. And then after we'd finished talking to the people in the village, we went on our first mission, which was to investigate some extremely barren ashen wastes on
the north of the island.
Yeah, and it turns out that the people who had a mining operation going on there seem to have basically uncovered some sort of insectoid monster race that's taken over the mines. So it was all very colour out of space for people who know that story, as we found these weird calcified people who used to own the land in the abandoned mines and took their remains back to the village.
This happened 20 years ago, and nobody from the village decided to fucking do shit about it.
Yeah,
so all a little bit culty.
Yeah, sort of like we won't bother going to investigate the glass fucking trees on the ash wastes north of our village, because that's perfectly normal in Maine. Normal as a summer's day, that. But welcome to the world of Cthulhu. Yeah, of course they would. Yeah, Wicker Man is an awesome film, and a good song. You're right. Although, which I can't remember which song it is. Did because that audio sample from the end of Wicker Man, where the protagonist, is it Edward Woodward, is in the Wicker Man and he's about to be burned and he's screaming to Jesus, isn't he? Oh Lord, oh Jesus Christ! That is one of the most overused sound clips in heavy metal music, that is. I think if I had £1 for every heavy metal band that had used that as a sound clip in one of their tracks, I'd be a rich man. But yeah, it was great fun. I love Arkham Horror LCG. It was great to get it together at the club because, like I said to David, although I enjoy the game enough to play it solo, it is better to play with new people and to just share the stories with them and share what's going on. I love the sort of like immersive storytelling in it because that linked up with the sort of like the card game aspect of it. I guess if you're not into card games, the game will fall a bit flat for you. You've got to love, wonky combos and card manipulation and that sort of thing. Hand size management, all the standard card game fare. But if you like that and you also like Cthulhu's horror stories, it's a fucking great game. So next month we'll probably be playing another excerpt of it, and I'll try and remember to take some pictures of our layout. And I tell you what else, for anybody who doesn't know, Arkham Horror the living card game can be quite a it can be quite a bookkeepy game, particularly when you're playing campaigns. There's often a lot of stuff to track in campaigns. Like in the Hemlock Vale, you have to track your relationship level for each of the NPCs that you encounter. But there is a fantastic free app available on the Play Store, and I'm assuming on the iStore as well, which is the Apple Store, is basically does all of that for you. It's got all of the story elements coded into it, so when you want to read them or whatever, you just click buttons and it tracks your campaign progress. You can load decks into it from the ArkhamDB website, again completely free to users. It's got all of the cards and all of the stats in there. If you want to look at if I wanted to show somebody an example of how a game can be supported with free fan-made tools with no friction from the people who market the product to everybody's benefit, the community benefits, Fantasy Flight, I'm for sure sell a ton more Arkham Horror than they would do without it. Because essentially you still need the cards to play. The apps are just supporting tools. Yes, you could download the images. Yes, you could copy and paste them and get, stick them on old magic cards. People can
but
do.
You're going to be there a shit ton of time longer.
Do you know what I mean? If somebody's going to do that, you can be as prohibitively irritating as you like. That person will still track down a secure Discord server or some fucking FTP site there's one for the kids who remembers FTP. Some sort of website where the images have all been dumped by somebody with a scanner. That person is going to do that. Whether you put up no barrier you ever create is going to stop that person doing that. But by actually just relaxing and letting the community, I mean, Jesus Christ, there is a website where people create fan created scenarios for yes, Darren knows what FTP is. There is a website where people create fan made scenarios and upload them, and it's all frictionless. Nobody's getting fucking cease and desists. Nobody's getting ban-hammered. It's all just fine. The only thing that FFG did draw the line at was there was a module. Basically, somebody recreated the entire game on Tabletop Simulator, and FFG drew the line at that. They said, look, take that down, please, because obviously once COVID finished, it was like, we don't want that out there for public consumption. Now, again, I'm a member of a Discord group. I can get the latest version of that to install on my own personal Tabletop Simulator and then run sessions for anybody who wants to hop in. So I can get round that if I want. The fact that it's no longer on the Steam fucking, TTS workshop isn't relevant. If you want to be that guy, you will be that guy. So, but that's the only thing really that FFG have done to sort of say, enough's enough. And you can't fault their community support otherwise. So yeah, that's what we got up to at club. And
Right.
to be fair, we were a little bit cowardly, didn't we? We exited the mission a little bit earlier than we could have done. But if there's anything that playing any kind of Arkham-based game teaches you, is
Pull pin early.
quit,
Don't.
quit while you're ahead, because if you keep pushing your luck, it will fall over. So yeah, that's what we got up to.
Right, shall we
Before we go anywhere further, I'm going to share this with them. I've just done a bit of Google Foo. This looks like an awesome thing for choosing Fallout factions. So it's EyeAmPhibian.blogspot.com. And you look at this: New California Republic Tactics and Overview, Caesar's Legion Tactics and Overview. Then there's super mutant items, gear tier lists. Start there. There's loads of stuff out there. I mean, Google's got loads of things. This isn't the article I found originally. Did you found the Reddit post you were on with, mate, or not?
No, I didn't.
No,
because you said you'd found it. So
no, okay, that's
what
fine.
We'll do is we'll find it for after the show, and we'll link both in the show notes.
I'll put it in the show notes, because as I say, the one I found, it had like literally half a dozen lines about all of the factions, even the weird like Raider sub factions,
Children of Atom, and everything.
Yeah. But yeah, somebody was asking about Fallout factions. That'll come in the news. But should we go to the news now? In fact,
no.
Oh,
fucking painting competition.
All right then, painting competition it is. Content display. So I'm using this.
Don't be skipping over your duties.
Okay, right. So there were painting competition. So it was the first, as well as being board game nut. Paul says that's FTPs before your time. Yes, Paul. It was from a very long time ago. News groups were Reddit before Reddit. Yep, spot on. There were only 3 entries at the club painting competition to this month. So as well as being board game night, first Monday in the month we do the painting competition at a local gaming club. This month's theme was humour. Rather unimaginatively, I entered my Joker model from the Gotham City Chronicles board game, and I came third, but that's fine. I don't mind coming third, because ultimately I managed to get a board game miniature painted that probably wouldn't have got painted unless I had the paint competition to push me to get it done, and I'm happy with the look. Literally just all painted with Vallejo model colour, bit of just a basic base coats and some washes. But it looks cool. Yeah, I'm pleased with it, Darren. Thank you, mate. Particularly the flesh tone. The flesh tone worked really well. I used I think it's like light grey. I actually used a grey tone from the model colour, and then just put Drucci Violet over it, and it gave me a fantastic.
Nice.
It gave me a fantastic skin tone that's very close to like you get in the Arkham computer games. For the Joker, so I was really chuffed with that. Now, the other 2 participants actually shared first place because they got tied on votes. One of them was V, who painted these genius versions of the Spanish Inquisition from Monty Python. Probably could have done a little bit more work on the basing, but we'll move on. Fantastic, bang on theme for the humour. Great models just to paint, just for the fun of painting them. Darren, didn't expect that. That's genius. Yep, well done, mate. First in. But yeah, really great looking models. Again, it's fantastic. This, if there's anything that is like for me that excites me about 3D printing, it's this sort of thing. Just weird little left field models that you just wouldn't get otherwise. You know, nobody would market them, nobody would buy them, nobody would sell them. But to just 3D print and play them.
But nobody expects them. That's the reason.
Oh my God! How many more times are we going to use this joke? And that means that the other first place entrant was this idiot over here.
Muggins.
Yeah.
Muggins in the corner.
So do you want to tell everybody about your entry?
So this is a Mishkin car that I've also entered into Car of the Month on the UK Gaslands Discord. Not Discord, Facebook even. It's a Mishkin car, and the reason it's humorous is because it basically goes around having one shot, one kill, with a massive nuclear reactor on the back, which is the biggest liability I have ever seen in a game of Gaslands.
It was horrible.
Ram is just on there for the rule of cool. But 6d6 out of the arc lightning projector that's turreted on top is fucking horrible.
And
it's absolutely fucking horrible.
And because you've got your you can farm ammo
Dynamo
tokens
and the nuclear
quite
energy,
easily.
yeah.
So he gets to recharge that stupid gun quite easily and a lot, which is really irritating.
It's only irritating if you're on the receiving end of it.
And we've also got a back shot of that, but for some reason the pictures are out of order. Let me just go back.
You finding back shots?
Yeah. So there's the rear shot showing some of the colours. Now, because tell everybody about the nuclear reactor rod things that are set. They're just they're just resting on the back of the car.
there's the reactor's 3D printed and mounted on some just mount board, but the rods that are on the back are a beer can cut into a very thin strip, wrapped around some very neon green strimmer cable, cut to a nice short length and straightened out, so that it looks like the motherfucker's glowing because they're going to refuel this reactor.
It looks like from the responses in the chat, it's going down well, mate. For me, the weathering's a little heavy, but the conversion work is what absolutely sells this piece. Again,
the shot out, shattered windscreen.
I was going to say, you guys can probably just see that he's got like a bullet hole in the windscreen, and then there's scratches and damage to the side windows as well. The elevated suspension, he's got wire wrapped. Is it cocktail stick or acrylic rod in there for suspension arms?
Acrylic rod with very thin wire wrapped around it.
Yeah, the attention to detail in the conversion is pretty fucking bonkers with this piece of kit. It is a fantastic model. And it's a testament to David, as I say, going above and beyond. So those were the three, the three sort of like permitted entries with the eligible entries from the club, and then we've got 2 community entries. One fucking seriously fantastic entry. Again, this is Darren's entry. I mean, you put this up on your Instagram, I'm assuming, Darren. Everybody go across to Demon Sub. Find Demon Sub on Instagram to see more of his fantastic painting.
Shooting like some gnomes or something.
Yeah, these are it's a frog shooting some weird gremlin-y rat things with tails. I don't know what the fuck these are. Tell us what these are in the chat, Darren. I know you sent me in the Discord message. You told me what they were, but they're insane. I'll tell you what I do. You see, I love the colours on these.
The muted palette, but it's also vibrant at the same time.
Well,
really
as well
nice.
as there's a really clever contrast. Obviously, the frog is intense green, intense blue. They're called troggles in Ark World. That's it, Ark World. Is the frog thing from Ark World as well, Demon Sub, or is it the troggles are Ark World minis and the frogs from something else? But I love the
think they're
color.
all.
I love the
think they're
color
all
contrast.
Arcworld looking at the sculpting.
I love the color contrast between the bright colors on the frog and then the drab greys and brown. They're both, yeah, you're right, mate. They are both Arcworld models. Yeah, and again, the fucking
Darren, Demon
presentation.
Sub, just remind us who does it again, because I might be in the market for a couple of these at UK Games Expo.
I must confess, I've heard it mentioned on the Spalding Paint Gaming Club Facebook, but I know sod all about Arcworld as a game. I don't think I've ever seen anybody demoing it or anything.
Warp miniatures.
Warp miniatures.
I shall keep eyes peeled.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Not only can Darren paint amazing models, but the presentation and his photography with the backdrops. So, have you played, Paul? Have you played Arcworld? Are you actually using these for Arcworld, Darren, as well, or are you just using these for your five league stuff? Just asking for a friend. And then we've got another community submission, which is a complete troll. I know that they were at Hammerhead in March. Bollocks. I wonder if they'll be at Partisan. That would be cool if they are. Okay, Paul hasn't actually played the game. Yeah, Paul Howell's submission for humour.
Has he painted Santa?
No. No, I'm not.
Damn it!
I'm sure Paul's going to tell us. What is this, Paul? Is this Frodo in the one wearing the one ring, standing in an oil slick, or what?
See, I thought this was Infinity Ninja.
Oh dear. Yeah, this is an Oniwa band with Cyber Mask 2. Fucking yeah. It's an Oniwa band in hidden deployment. Is it? Yeah. Fucking hell. So
Darren hasn't played. Darren's just collecting minis.
Oh, okay, mate. That's fine, because you did the same with Bushido, didn't you, Darren? You put some painted Bushido up just because the miniatures were amazing. It's Harry Potter. Yeah, it's Harry Potter with his fucking cloak. Yeah. Oh, dear God. Yes, well done, Paul. Fucking lowering the tone. So, yeah, there we go. So that's painting competition done for another month. Evening
Your
Toros.
Next category is champion.
Yeah. So next month it's champion, which is a bit of a shame, really, because having my champion of chaos, having just been fucking killed in our yeah, don't encourage him, Toros. Please don't encourage him. With my champion of chaos,
don't feed the troll.
Just being killed in my Realm of Chaos campaign, it might have been good to actually submit him.
No, because you've got to redo him now anyway, because he's got to be a skeleton, hasn't he?
No, I'm not fucking... There's no point, because I can't get any upgrades, and he dies. It's basically, I just have to play him as he is for a couple of games, and then he dies anyway. It's like, it's really crap. So I'm going to have to start again with a new one, a new champion.
For this will be on the 3rd of June at Club, and your entries will need to be in by the 6th of June so that we can look at them on the stream on that day. This is also the stream just after UK Games Expo.
Yep.
So we will probably also have our noses stuffed from the money we've hemorrhaged over the weekend. So yeah. Shall we do the news? Because we're running a little bit late.
Yeah, let's do the news. Okay, so let's go to here. I'll go first. Turn that off. Turn this on. Go to here. So basically, as we were in a bit of a fallout mood. I said to David, do you know much about Fallout factions? Because I know this is the new hotness. And then I did a search on YouTube and I found this video. This is already 2 years old, I think. No, 7 months old, this video. I remember thinking, fucking hell, that's been up a while. 7 months ago, Modifius put up a first look and playthrough video of this game. And it actually looks fucking good. I hate to say. I can't remember that chap's. This is the designer, the guy on the right. Everybody who's an OTT nerd will be able to tell me exactly what his name is, because it's gone, because I'm old and senile. But somebody tell me what his name is, because it's annoying me. Is it James something or other? Anyway, James M. Hewitt, thank you. Oh, I was so close. I had it on the tip of my tongue. This system looks fucking great. Essentially, to give everybody a TLDR version, the main core of the game is dice pool driven. It's dice pool 10-sided dice. It has a they've built it very much around the classic way Fallout thing of you've got your special stats. All of the activities in the game are focused around stats. So the stats either give you your weapons tend to give you your dice pool, from what I could tell, for your actions, or the dice pool is determined by your circumstances, and your target number is off your special stats, if that makes sense, your actual core game stats. Hobgoblin got Best Miniature Game for UK Games Expo. Really? When? You mean they've... Are you talking about last year, Cheese Me? Because surely they won't have announced that pre the show. Or are they doing all that pre-show so that it's just for display on the day?
Also, isn't Hobgoblin a fucking rule set?
Okay. Okay, mate. Whatever. Hobgoblin by what's his name? Hutchinson. Because yeah, Mike Hutchinson. Because there aren't any miniatures. I suppose it's miniatures game. I suppose they're including rule sets. Interesting.
Weird. Different.
I wouldn't have said it was a particularly great rule set. It's a basic rule set, and it's a serviceable rule set, and I mean,
the fuck?
Yeah, interesting. As I say,
and that's no discredit to Mike.
No.
It's just that for us, it's a bit like, the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to tell me what's the best thing about Hobgoblin, I wouldn't have said it's the rules. I would have said the ability to take any models that you want, create relatively easy profiles to just put them on the tabletop and play a game with them. That's where Hobgoblin is at its strength. Like, I mean, David and I discussed it. Yeah, when we reviewed the free rules that were out when the Kickstarter was running. I mean, yeah, okay, best mini rules. That is weird. I don't really get that at all. Just goes to show you. But yeah, anyway, back to this. So it's D10 pool. It's keyed very much around your special stats. There's a fantastic fatigue mechanism built into it. So each model has 3 levels of fatigue, basically. Unfatigued. And then I can't remember what they're called, but you can basically have level 1 fatigue and level 2 fatigue. And doing an action moves you one step, moves you one step up the fatigue ladder. What's nice about it is that it is technically alternating activations, but when you activate, you can choose to either take one action and go. You basically pick a model and activate it. You can either go one step. You can either take a single action and then pass back, or you can take the two. You can also do group activations like a game like Frostgrave. So you can move a ton of models together, and
As a squad.
they all go one level of fatigue up. You can also use models that are within your command range, which varies with the figures, to give yourself supporting fire and get by just giving them fatigue. So there's loads of little nuances in the rule set that really appeal to me. It definitely looks like a rule set I'd like to explore. Unfortunately, because that's another thing to go on the shopping list. But I think it looks, for me, it's a better rule set than Wasteland Warfare. Again, it's also got from
it's the pool, etc., makes it a lot easier to explain to new players.
Yeah,
and stuff as well.
Yeah, because you do sort of have coloured dice, but it's only in that some of your dice pool get to be called lucky or lucky dice. So then they're important for criticals and that. There's some very clever game design elements incorporated into it. The other thing is it is effectively a Mordheim style game. So as well as it's designed to be played in a full-on campaign mode. You probably could do single battles as well, but from what I've seen on it, the game is very much designed to be a campaigning experience.
That's cool. Should we go to the next bit of the news?
And the next bit of news is essentially the same theme.
More Fallout.
Yeah.
Apparently there was a TV show. Apparently it was really well received, and apparently everyone went to the internet and bought Fallout fucking Wasteland Warfare miniatures and Fallout Faction miniatures and fucking God knows what else, because Modiphius sold out really quickly of stock and their sales are up massively. Who'd have thunk it, hey?
I'll tell you what was quite interesting, though. Buried in this article, I'm sure I read that actually the RPG stuff was the first stuff to sell out.
Yes, it was.
And it sold out before the show had even aired, just based on the hype from the show. Which I thought was quite interesting, because, I mean, this thing must have been hyped to the fucking max, really, for it to have that much traction before it had even aired. So, I mean, it's great. It's great news for Modiphius. I'm really pleased. I think Wasteland Warfare is a good rule set. As I say,
I think they've done a relatively decent job with the miniatures, etc. as well. So
I sort of stand by my opinion of the TV show, which is I think it will appeal to you more if you're already a fan. And I think that's the general consensus. If you're already a fan of Fallout, the TV show will land hard. If you're just looking for some TV and you've got no skin in the game, it's fine, but I don't think it's amazing.
It's watchable.
Yeah, it's not. I've seen worse. Far fucking worse. But this is one of the issues with IP linked stuff. I mean, like I said, absolutely no sour grapes. I wish Modiphius all the success in the fucking world. Anything that can basically shuffle market share around our little sector of the gaming industry. Anything to reallocate pounds, shillings, and pence from the mighty GW is a win in my book. And I will say, I've played Wasteland Warfare. I think the rule system is sound. And I, as I say, looking at Fallout Factions, it looks like a great rule set. So these people are not just trading garbage on an IP. they actually do have sound products behind what they're doing with the IP. And for me, that's huge. That's all the respect in the world to that. Baby. That Paul says, my wife and I enjoyed it. I only play tabletop Fallout. It's not a good video. What do you mean by that, Paul? You and your wife playing Fallout on the tabletop isn't a great video experience, or that the show's fine? Or because you said you enjoyed it. No, I'm the same as you, Toros. But I don't, as an interested, just out of interest, Toros, are you coming at it from the same? I mean, I said before you joined the show, I think I said I've done about 10 to 20 hours in Fallout for New Vegas. I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sitting up red-eyed at 4 a.m.
New Vegas is the best, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm not sitting up red-eyed at 4 a.m. still, tied to the video game, and I think that is why I found it was a bit meh. Yes, fine. Yeah, whatever. And somebody mentioned the Scars. Cheese Me says, I've seen the Balin Skull show and the Babysitting Adventures of Obi-Wan, which frankly should have been the titles when those shows were launched. Because the Balin Skull show, is that Ahsoka? And Obi-Wan, I think, was the other one, wasn't it? I don't get it. Everything after Return of the Jedi or Rotjay, anything after Return of the Jedi, meh, don't care really. So Star Wars is another one where it leaves me cold. I've enjoyed the game systems. X-Wing was a fantastic game, and I bought tons of it.
And shall we spoil the main topic a little bit and feed straight into it? You tried Chatpoint.
I did. So it's 9 o'clock's come and gone. So let's get on to the main topic. So on Sunday, David and I went to Diceni, which is a general gaming show in Norwich. In the
city centre at the Forum.
In the county of Norfolk, here in the UK, for our international viewers. And it was a good show, wasn't it, mate? I think it was a little bit quieter than last year.
Yeah, it was a bit quieter than last year. Not as many stall sellers as there was last year.
There was a couple of... Last year, there was a couple of big retailers and a few more gaming display tables. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm sure there was more last year than there was this year. It felt that way. It still seemed very well attended. I mean, it wasn't packed, which is, what's nice about these small local shows. You can actually, it's not like a Saturday at UK Games Expo where you're literally shuffling zombie-like from foot to foot in a massive press of people. You can actually move around quite sensibly. But yeah, we saw loads of things. We do have a video coming up, and here we go. So this is it. Let's get this off. Let's get this done now. Mea culpa. I am a complete idiot and forgot to take my lavalier microphone. So basically, we had to film all of the audio on the fucking mobile phone raw microphone. Yeah, it's not great. I'm still going to put
the ride, boys and girls. It's a ride.
I'm still going to put the video up with a disclaimer, but yeah, I apologise in advance for everybody who's going to watch that. We will do better next time. I have used Audacity to salvage what I can of the audio and try to make it watchable. But you'll just have to bear with us. Hello, Orinoco. First post from yourself tonight, I think. Caronade was on the Saturday. He may have. Oh, that's true. What was Caronade? Was that a show somewhere else in the country, mate? Yeah. Don't cheese me. Just fucking don't, mate. Yeah. just to give you guys some more context, the main reason for the fuck up was I set my alarm up in Falkirk. Yeah, I set my alarm to get up to go to David so we can go in his car or Spam's car, and I slept through my alarm. So I woke up at literally like fucking 10 to 8. Bear in mind, I'm supposed to be at David's at 8 o'clock to leave for Norwich. So obviously that was the stress. That was the stress event that basically took all of the well-laid plans and pitched them full arse out the window. So well done,
But
me.
in other news, it does now mean that Muggins here has gone out and bought wireless lapel mics so that we can connect them to my phone at Partisan next week.
Yeah. So that when Paul forgets the mics again because he's a twat, David's got a backup plan. So yeah, in terms of what was there, well, I finally got to get under the bonnet on Shatterpoint. And we got a guy, I think it was a guy from the Aftermath Gaming Club, who are sort of like the organisers of the show. He was there with a beautifully painted Shatterpoint collection and a table.
I think it was from Athena.
Oh, that's right.
Athena.
No, you're right. So yeah, because they had it in the corner, didn't they? Which is one of the game stores there in Norwich.
Which, by the way, we did go and visit, and I know it's slightly not show related. If you're ever in Norwich, definitely worth sticking your head in. Fucking awesome shop.
Yeah. Nice to see a genuinely broad brush gaming store. They'd got everything in there, hadn't they, mate? Great Warlord range.
Core Space products, Dystopian Wars from War Cradle, some TT Combat stuff, an absolute shit ton of bolt action.
A little bit of Bushido.
GW stuff, Bushido. Elder Scrolls, I think obviously the Fallout shit had sold out, and a ton of board games, and a few different paint varieties.
Yeah, they even had they had the Scale 75 Insta paints. They had some really weird stuff. But yeah, definitely not just GW, more of the same shit, which is to be applauded massively. Anyway, Shatterpoint. Sadly, I have to say, I think it's quite a good game. No, Warlord weren't at Diceni. Warlord was at. We're saying that Athena had a good range of the Warlord products, Paul. Yeah. But yeah, Shatterpoint. What do we think? The thing that intrigues me most about Shatterpoint is Shatterpoint appears to be a movement-based skirmish game.
It's not a very killy game.
No.
Is it?
No. Stuff doesn't die very quickly.
No. And you've got to go round the clock, twice? So you've got to do double the amount of damage that's actually statted out on their cards.
Yeah, I didn't really get his explanation of that, but yeah, I guess that's what. Yeah, something like that.
What got us is the fact that it's a 9x9 objective grid on a 3 foot by 3 foot gaming table. And they are active or inactive depending upon the scene and the scenario, and it constantly flips and changes, particularly in what they refer to as the struggles. It's not a turn or that kind of thing. It's an alternating activation game with your miniatures that you've got in your warband plus 1 Shatterpoint card. So you get to activate something twice. Once you've gone through that deck, you can then regenerate all your force, reshuffle that deck, and then you go again. And you're basically seesawing backwards and forwards until somebody gets a score on the door. And then you go to Act 2, and all of the objectives and everything changes up again, and then the same for Act 3. So basically, first to 2 points wins is the long and the short of it, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's like David,
2 struggles.
Like David says, it's sort of a weird best of 3 thing where the struggle cards are. There comes a point where you win a struggle, and the first player to win 2 out of 3 struggles wins the game. So it's either 2-0 or 2-1 every game. as I say, the best thing about it for me is it's not very lethal and it's very movement based. Movement shenanigans seem to be play a huge part in the game the way it was sold to us. So
the damage wrapping as well. So as you do and resolve damage, each miniature has like a path to pick, and you can proc off some extra abilities based on the dice you roll, of like shoving miniatures around again, movement focused manipulation here, boys and girls.
Stuff lifted straight for those who remember Guild Ball or ever played Guild Ball, is lifted straight out of Guild Ball. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the design elements are quite derivative, aren't they, mate? But I think as a package, it impressed the shit out of me.
The only point that doesn't impress you is the price point and availability.
Yeah, I'm not happy. I think it's expensive for what it is, and I don't really give that much of a shit about the miniatures because I'm not massively into the Star Wars IP. But I'm going to be fair. I can see that there's a good game there. The game I would place it closest to is Malifaux, because again, Malifaux killing things isn't the point. You will lose if you just focus on killing your opponent but not actually scoring and winning the game. You will just lose. And that is something that's common to Shatterpoint. I think we felt there was some. I think the use of decks of cards. So you've got a deck of cards that determines your struggles and your mission structure. You've got a deck of cards that sort of resolves your initiative mechanic. And I think when David and I talked...
And you've got a miniature card and then a damage set card for the weapons that it's fucking equipped with.
Yeah.
It's quite paper-focused, boys and girls.
Which I think is a thing with a lot of Atomic Mass games, isn't it? They tend to be quite token and asset heavy. With that sort of thing. I mean, that is a criticism I would level at the game. But yeah, all in all, not a game I would object to playing if asked, is what I would say. Again, was it good enough to make me dash out and buy it? No, let's calm down. It wasn't that good. But definitely better than I was expecting, to be fair. Maybe I am getting too cynical in my old age. What else? I'll tell you what else we saw that I did think was fucking amazing. Strength and Honor, is it? So there were some guys from a...
Oh, yeah, the 2 mil fucking Ancients that were playing.
Yeah, so there's some guys from a gaming club at Wroxham, which is a little town in Norfolk. They'd brought a little 4x4, 5x4 table with a 2mm Ancients game based on a battle. Basically, it was the last stand of the Scots against the initial Roman push into the British Isles. The Battle of Mons Grappius, for those of you who got a historic and Ancients bent. And the rule set that you were using was Strength and Honor, which is, I think, out of the Too Fat Lardy stable of games. Or is it, I think it's published under Weissman Games or something. Details will be in the video when we get it live on the internet. But I tell you what, I was really impressed with the rule set. I really liked it. I really liked the look of it, and I thought that the 2mm miniatures looked quite effective for what they are. What did you think, mate? Would that be sort of a game system that would excite you?
Yes, I know what you're saying with the miniatures. I was a bit disappointed that they were just sort of dots on a board. But again, with the scale that they're at, there's not a lot that can be done about that.
No,
Do you
I
know
was
what I
going to
mean?
say 2mm
Um,
miniatures will be that, won't they?
yeah, but it did seem like quite a good game. Again, there was quite, in the grand scheme of things, large armies. And that is one benefit of playing at that tiny level, is that you can play massive fucking 30, 40 base squads. Do you know what I mean? Of each one's a platoon, and you can play a big game like that in an evening. Because they were saying like the playtime can be 2 hours or less, weren't they?
Yeah. They were saying. I mean, they played the game multiple times. Um, Shakos says I just play with coloured blocks time commander style. It would work. Because it's essentially based on a square grid, Shakos. So you could literally just play with tokens if you wanted. There's nothing to stop you, literally abandoning the fucking pretense of hobby in miniatures and wargaming at all. I just thought,
I'll tell you what was fucking genius, that breakpoint mechanic. Where
yeah,
you kind of know where your opponent's at on the cards and what you've given out, and there's points on them, but you don't know exactly what they're at.
yeah,
And you call their bluff and say, well, sir, I do believe you have broken. And then they look down at their hand and they haven't broken, and they get an opportunity in a second bite of the cherry to extend the game out. I think that was fucking genius.
yeah. That for me, that was definitely the best part of the rule set. Like David says, the fact that you've got this, because the way it works is as you get your units get defeated in combat and pushed back, instead of tracking damage on the units and that sort of thing, you just literally get these, they're what they call setback cards.
Yeah.
It is very much like that, Cheese Me. It's like you don't focus, I mean, which is what you'd expect from a really zoomed out game like that. You don't focus on damage on individual units or individual troop blocks.
Squads.
It's like as the battle, it was a simple D6 pool system. We'd roll multiple dice, pick the highest sort of thing. It was the actual core mechanics seemed very simple, but for me the choice element was this card, the setback cards. So like if you get pushed back, then you get to draw one of these cards, and then your opponent has to say, oh, he's got 7 cards and the breakpoint on his army is 14. What are the chances that we're at 14? Because obviously, and again, like David says, if you call it right, you win the game. Game's over. If you call it wrong, they discard their highest card and keep going. So you actually give them a breather. Such a clever idea for a game. I really liked the way that the because everything was really abstracted onto the grid. I really liked the really simplistic way that the supporting of units in combat worked. Obviously, each unit only had a couple of stats. It just looks such a clean distillation of an idea. I really thought it really impressed me as a game system, and I would definitely consider playing it. The other thing is, like the guys said when we were there, mate, you can play it at 6mm, or if you're thinking, oh, 2mm a bit shit, there's nothing to stop us sort of zooming up a bit and going to 6mm.
The
Or
only
10.
thing with that rule set is it does cover a very small and specific window from about 300 BC to 300 AD.
Yeah, that is true. It is, as it's written, it's themed very much in a tight historical window, which is fair. But as I say, I really enjoyed that. What else did we see that was good, mate?
We saw the Cats Rebellion table again. Didn't get on it again because time got away from us and it was always busy.
To be fair, I did get to stand and watch the climax of the final scenario right at the end of the show, and it was to be fair, it was a game that was so good you could just stand and watch it. It was really great. It was really great fun. For anybody who wants to know, the game at the show basically followed history, where despite putting up a valiant fight, Ket was destroyed or killed in the centre of Norwich, well, captured and then taken to be hung. So his rebellion was crushed by the royalists in the end. Just like it was in real life. But he did put up a valiant effort.
Aftermath's modern table was quite pretty to look at.
Yeah. I'll be honest.
The only thing I didn't like about it, from when they were describing it, is the fact that it was a fully custom rule set. Unlike last year, where they were playing with whatever system they were playing with on the Wild West table that we played on.
Yeah, it was the Little Wars Wild West one, wasn't it? I can't remember what it's called.
We couldn't go away and recreate that. Do you know what I mean? We couldn't say, oh, well, we just go get this rule set and we'll be away. So that was a downside to that table.
I mean, the scenery did look quite good on it. Tauros. Out of interest, Tauros, is it a system you've ever played or come across? Because I'm guessing that it's probably more your bag than anybody else's here. Yeah, I agree, mate. It looked fine. The MDFs, they did a really good job of creating a table with the right look and feel for that 1980s Middle East.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, look. But the game, it didn't grab me, to be honest. It didn't sort of like think, oh yeah, I want to play this. And it's like you say, probably because it's entirely custom, there's no point, because you can't, you're not getting excited about something you can go and buy and reproduce at home unless you're dedicated enough to design your own game, which is, a fairly limited palette of individuals.
Didn't get an opportunity to go on the Occult Wars, but did get a chance to speak to the guys.
Yeah, again, that Occult Wars thing, it's one that keeps evading me. Because when we spoke to them just around lunchtime, they had a slot booked for just after lunch, but it was fully subscribed. And then obviously David and I went to look at other things, and they didn't really run any other sessions later, which was damned annoying. But I wanted to try that.
Picked the guy's brains at the Shiver stand.
Yeah, that Shiver surprised me. Shiver is a role-playing game. So Toro says, haven't played it, come across the author on Facebook when he was making 2mm armies out of green stuff during COVID, and it all got quite popular very quickly. I can see why, mate, because it's one of them things that whenever I see a rule set, there are lots of rule sets out there, but all you need is one clever or even slightly different idea to make a rule set worthy of attention, and I think that Strength and Honor definitely did have that.
That's better. Let's adjust my lumbar support so I can lean.
Yeah, so the Occult Wars Reborn. Well, is it Occult Wars? Occult. Yeah, whatever that rule set is. That's the other disappointing thing. Was talking to the guys is that I think it's one of them projects where they haven't really got a definite timetable.
First edition. They want to do a second edition, but they haven't got round to it yet.
Yeah, and they were saying the same sort of thing last year, and I sadly think it's one of those things where it's like a pet project, and I think without them mustering a lot more commitment and effort, it's never going to see the light of day for general consumption, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Yeah, Shiver. You mentioned Shiver. So Shiver, for anybody who doesn't know, horror-based role-playing game. What's the coolest thing about Shiver? Well, the coolest thing about Shiver for me was the genius idea that characters are built around a set of 6 stats, totally standard role-playing game fare. But what's genius for me was, if you've got 6 stats in your role-playing game, why don't you make your dice system 6-sided, where each side represents one of your core stats?
And then pool it based off your core stats.
It's like, actually, that's a genius side, fucking, why? Yeah, why not do that? So then,
And the art in the books is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, the art, the actual quality, production quality of the printed books, the art, fucking amazing.
And they've just come off the back of 2 more Kickstarters. What were they called? Shiver. Fuck, what were they? Shiver Pulp and.
They had Gothic. Was it Gothic?
Core Shiver. Gothic Shiver is the second one, which is the more sort of Dracula focused one.
And then they produced a campaign.
It was Slasher, and what was the other one? The one where you could play like fucking the dinosaurs.
Pulp,
yeah. Pulp and Slasher, they've just come off the back of it.
And they didn't have those available yet, so I imagine they're still in final design.
Fate of Witches was another thing we saw. So that is coming to Kickstarter in September, and there'll be more on that because we spoke with the guys in the show or the video that we're going to put up. But the game itself, the production quality looked fucking exceptional. The art looked amazing. Cute little twee. Well, I say cute. It's a bit dark and morbid. But cute twee little deck builder where you build a little coven of witches in like day-night cycles. You got to avoid the witch hunter and being burnt at the stake and compete against up to 3 other players with yourself included. So 4 players to build the best coven of witches.
One of the nicest things I thought about that game was it did have a solo mode, and it looked like they'd obviously thought about that from the beginning. Always nice with little card games like that. If there is a solo mode, it's so much easier to indulge yourself and buy a board game if you know you can play it solo. Because if you're feeling guilty about not getting your value out of it, you can just throw it down and amuse yourself for a couple of hours on a Saturday on the kitchen table, can't you, mate? I mean, it seemed fine. What really drew you to that? Go on, talk us through it.
The artwork looked exceptional. The fact that I quite like those little card games to just throw in a bag,
okay,
and take to club with me when I've got time to spare at the end of a session. So, like, you look at Radlands that I bought after UK Games Expo that I saw at UK Games Expo last year.
Yep.
It takes about 25-30 minutes to play a game. If you finish up a bit early, it's a little bit of a amuse-bouche fucking game filler.
So you liked the art style. Because it's like it's a bit Everdell, isn't it? It's like you're building a little montage, not in a montage. Yeah. You're building a tableau, that's the word. Building a tableau of the cards in front of yourself with your witches and what have you. Did that appeal to you, did it?
Yeah, that did as well.
What about the theme? Was the theme high on your list, or the theme was just
seemed cool and fitted sort of the idea that they were going with? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It fit the art style and everything. It wasn't, oh, look, let's play as witches and the theme looks good. It was just it looks all right. Yeah. And as we say, that's coming to Kickstarter in around September. It's going to be a relatively short one, only about 3-4 weeks tops. So all in all, it should be done by October on the Kickstarter. And then obviously after that, you're looking at delivery whenever after, which is one thing we didn't ask them about.
No, that's true. We didn't. One Bold is the company. one to probably keep your
One
eye
Bold
on.
Studios, isn't
Yeah.
it?
ONEBOLD, One Bold. So yeah, definitely something to keep your eye out for. What else did we see?
We saw our resident guy in chat.
Yeah, Paul.
saw
Obviously, we filmed some
Andy.
content with Paul, and talked to him about his ever expanding range of supplements for trench offensive. That the Verdun one looks to me a great step forward in terms of support material for that game, where you've got like an almost linked ladder campaign. You've got new play modes, so you can play out. It's sort of like giving you flexibility to play outside of your trench environment. He said he's added weather tables, I think, if I remember correctly. So you've got weather effects to add other variation to your games. It's great to see that game expanding. And I said we're going to have to pick up some of the supplements. And we're going to have to get a fucking table sorted with terrain so that we can play great looking games of it. I've still got miniatures to paint as well, which I want to get done. So yeah, we talked to Paul, Cat's Rebellion. We talked about, as I say, there wasn't as
we
much.
We didn't look at Flashpoint, did we?
Well, no. Do you know the main reason for that is, guys? Flashpoint is already everybody's. It's been out forever. Flashpoint is really well covered on the internet. We didn't film it. I just wanted to know how the game plays because I know there's people interested in it in my gaming club. Or in our gaming club.
No, I'm on about Halo Flashpoint, not Shatterpoint.
Oh, sorry, Flashpoint. No, we didn't bother with that. Again, same thing applies though. I've seen videos on it. There was some coverage from Salute. Jerry did a thing about Flashpoint, I think, if I remember correctly, or was it Justin? I can't remember. One of them did.
Someone did some content
on OTT, and it seems fairly okay. Again, it doesn't really grab me. Would you have wanted to do something with it, mate? Because you never said.
Really. No, Halo is, unfortunately for me, a game that I never really got into.
Okay, right. So again, you're a little bit cold on it. That's one of the issues. Again, we covered it when we talked about IPs in general. That's the problem. You're either all in or you're all out when it comes to IPs, and I'm afraid Halo, I'm just like, meh, don't care. And that's a shame because again, the same's true of Shatterpoint. Because I'm not really into Star Wars, I would have walked straight past that game. It's only because like Jack and them are interested at the club. I thought, do you know what? I should actually find out what's going on, because if Jack says, "Oh, does somebody want to play it?" Or those new guys, that father and son duo who've just started coming.
I can't remember the name.
The lad's got Shatterpoint, and you just think, well, I should find out what this is all about, because if they ask for a game, you want to be able to help people out, don't you? And then it was like, oh, actually, this is quite a good game. Who'd have thunk? It was, for me, the highlight of Diceni was the little guys, which is probably what you'd expect from a small show like that. I was impressed by Shrike Studios as well. Would seem to be a one-man outfit, and he or she, Liz, was talk about ambitious. They've got a miniatures war game, a sort of naval war game based on the Battlefleet Gothic rule set, loosely, I'm assuming. They've got a RPG, bloody post-apocalypse Zone 28, and they also do STLs and digital miniatures as well. And it's like, Jesus, for a one-man outfit, talk about getting in on everything. But to be honest, the products didn't look crap either. They looked very good.
No, the book, Oh fuck! What was the game's name? The naval game. Can't remember what the name
Blight
was.
Seas Fleet, I think it
The book
was.
for that looks really good. The role-playing game artwork again looks really good inside the book.
The RPG book did look slightly better and had more art in it. The war game book looked a bit tabley, so it was a bit of a boring layout. But it's a war game, so do you know what I mean?
It's not the end of the world.
You know, but the for an indie published product, the Zone 28 RPG looked very well put together. It's very impressive.
And in a similar vein, the stuff by Bez, they've produced quite a range of, as the name suggests, stuff, i.e., little card games and bits and pieces like that. But the questions being asked of what actually makes a good war game, what sort of should we be asking for as a consumer of, should we have an entire theatrical experience handcrafted and delivered to us inside the book, or should you be able to take sort of more of an RPG approach and tweak and finagle the game into and wrangle it into what you want, the experience you want.
That the designer there, that Bez, is a real character, and the word I would immediately sort of like springs to my mind is avant-garde. He's exploring the edges of game design and, like I say, really tackling philosophical stuff inside what, you look at it, you think, this is a pure little card game, and it is, but actually it's sort of like asking bigger questions. If I'm honest, is it my cup of tea in terms of gaming? Not really, but totally respect what he's trying to do. And I think one cannot say there's no passion there. Great range of stuff.
No, they're definitely very involved.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and again, David said it. It's like he made one of the profoundest things. He said he made one of the most profound comments there, which was, we were talking about, is what David said a minute ago about, like, you compare gaming is almost entirely entertainment based. When you go to game, your only agenda is entertainment. And what Bez was trying to highlight was that if you say the same thing about media, like even TV media, with video media, you can stratify it. So you've got video media. Yeah, you've got entertainment, so your blockbuster films and your sci-fi series or whatever. But then there's documentaries and news. And he was sort of making this argument about viewing gaming as a spectrum, like, say, film media.
As a carrier. Yeah.
And not just making the automatic association gaming equals entertainment, but could gaming equal documentary or gaming equal?
Well, again, I think the best thing to walk away from that was like the one they were mentioning in relation to like depression and completing certain things, etc. It's something that I've been through historically. It fucking sucks to be depressed and drag your ass out of bed and just adult and function. It's fucking difficult. But if you can gamify it and help, particularly with like younger people, teenagers going through that, your kids, etc., or your partner's kids, it makes a massive difference because, again, they're not seeing it as coming from you necessarily.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean?
I mean, again, there's a great insight there that like you say, if you get an adolescent with mental issues, to actually gamify elements of it to increase engagement is a sort of like a really insightful thing. We're getting a bit deep here, but some of the aspects of these small shows, again, it's all about the little guys, isn't it? And again, the gaming clubs, that the Roxham board was beautifully presented. I can't remember, is it New Buckingham did the
Yeah, New Buckingham did Kets.
Ket's Rebellion, beautiful table.
And fucking 3/4 of that shit is handcrafted, boys and girls.
Yeah. When you see when you see the table for the Ket's Rebellion, it's mostly fucking hand scratch built shit. It's like crazy the amount of work that's gone into that.
Rock. We didn't get a chance to talk to Rock.
No.
But again, knocking it out of the park with his quality and what he's got, etc. I know he's posted on Instagram today for those that are in the know, etc. So he's getting ready for UK Games Expo. His cut-off for ordering is imminent. It's only like next week, I believe. Because after UK Games Expo, he's also possibly moving house, and that's fucking stressful.
Yeah.
So there may be a little bit of a delay from stuff from Rock Studios, but cool. And the fucking Space Hulk, genius stroke there for Space Hulk.
Space
like, what was it, 10 mil scale?
Yeah, I think it was 10mm. I was just about, when David was finished, I was about to say, for me, the highlight of what Rock had there was just in front of their like retail booth, there was a little Space Hulk layout done in 10mm, I'm assuming. It was beautifully recreated, 3D, obviously 3D ship corridor tiles, not 2D cardboard, but 3D printed spaceship corridors, little Terminators, little Gene Stealers, all at the appropriate scale.
Fucking spaceship at the appropriate scale. It would be something that would play out on like a 6x4 mat if it was at proper size.
To be fair, it looked fantastic, and the first thing I thought of when I saw it was why isn't this a thing? If Games Workshop, you've done Legions Imperialis, just relaunch Space Hulk as a physical 3-dimensional 10, 12mm or whatever, pick a fucking small scale and launch it. I'd buy it. I'd buy all of it. It looked fucking amazing. Absolutely brilliant it did. It was an absolute eye candy. But yeah, we took a march down to Athena Games, and we took a march down to, what was that other place in the arcade? Langley's. Bought itself some paint and some Renedra plastics. Which they've got a little sort of like bargain bin of, hadn't they, at Langley's?
Yep.
That's the other nice thing.
What did you buy at Athena?
Now, what did I buy at Athena? What was I queuing for? Oh, Geek Gaming Scenics. They had a full. Yeah. They had a great range of Geek Gaming Scenics basing materials at Athena. In Norwich. So I picked myself up. I've got them here actually. I picked myself up some of the Geek Gaming Scenics pre-mixed base ready products. Because these things are just fucking great. I would use these. I use these all the time now in basing. You just slap the PVA down, swish it round in this. You've got a little bit of flock. You've got different grades of material like sand or grit. It's just water. It's just like a one-stop basing solution. And if you really think it doesn't look quite good enough, just stick a tuft on and you're done. I love these. I bought myself some Mediterranean mix about 3 years ago from UK Games Expo, and let's see if we can get this out. I've still got that left, and I must have based nearly 200 minis, and I've still got that much.
You did all your bloody bolt action with that shit. Didn't
you?
Yeah.
I've done 2 bolt action collections. I've done most of my Mythic Battles Pantheon with this. And I've still got bloody loads of it. So, and these are what, like £4. So now I've got like loads of different basing options for just a few quid. Absolute fucking bargain. And like I say, just do what I've done there. Stick it into a plastic food container. One stop basing solution, done. Yeah. I don't know what else. I don't know what else there was. So I think that pretty much covers it. With 15
For a
minutes.
more deep dive and interviews,
Yeah.
etc., with
As I
people,
say,
go watch the video when it goes live. We apologise for the audio.
yeah, give us a break. I hope it's not as unwatchable as I suspect it's going to be. But do you know what? I'll put it up there. Enjoy it or don't. I'll tell you what, there will be as well in that video. Obviously, all the things we've talked about tonight, when that video does go live on YouTube, I'll put all of the links to the various Instagrams, Facebooks of people like One Bold Studio, Shrike Studios, or Stuff by Bears, whatever I can find for him. All of those things will be there. So even if you can't stomach the video because the audio is terrible, make sure you click through everything on the video description to show these guys some support for their stuff. And Shiver particularly, I would, if you're into your role-playing games, Shiver is definitely worth looking at. It takes a lot for me to get enthused about role-playing games. I've talked about it on stream before. It's one of those things where I've had to cut.
To be fair, you almost pulled the trigger on it, but as you say, you're just not gonna get your money's worth from it.
No, but I love the look of it. I love the again. I was really intrigued by the fact that he's doing something that's a bit horror. So it's quite, so you know, when you think of horror role playing, you think of one shots, you think of, you know, games that don't really work as campaigns. But
again, Arkham Horror, bring a second fucking character sheet because you're probably gonna need that bastard.
That's in the one shot, let alone the campaign. And but the, you know, the guys at Shiver are trying to make, I can't remember, Callum, was it his name, Chris? I can't remember.
I think it was Callum.
He's trying to break the mold and do like a horror themed game with some campaign legs to it.
Well, again,
really intriguing.
Even just the twee aspect with the pulp that he was releasing, then he was talking about. The pulp is designed more and more approachable so that children can play because you're RPGing as an actor.
Oh yeah, that was it. Because that's right. It was like a Hollywood thing, wasn't it? Where actually he's almost hybridizing. He's almost stealing wholesale the idea from 7TV and saying, okay, well, 7TV is a war game that's actually a film. You know, you're doing a film of a war game, or the other way around.
A war game of a film.
And he's saying, well, let's do the RPG version of that. But yeah, there's loads of little. I mean, again, I haven't actually edited that audio yet, so let's hope it's not complete dog shit, because there's some real gems in there, and it's really interesting what they're doing with it. Yeah, that was definitely something. Out of all the things that I saw on the day, if the things I will definitely be spending some more money.
Night cheese me.
Yeah, night cheese me. Of all the things I saw at the show, I'll definitely be spending some more money with Paul on some of the supplements for Trench, and some more minis probably. And Shiver was the other one that I would probably look to spend money on. What about you, mate?
Well, I had a relatively cheap one. I mainly bought Christmas presents for my boy, is the honest answer. Oh, I'll tell you what, I will give an honourable shout out now. I can't even remember the fucking name of the store. But it was that one that I got the Pokemon TCG map for my boy.
Yeah.
For Christmas. But Spam got a absolutely whimsical game called Here Kitty Kitty for her girls, where you're playing and stealing cats from your neighbors. The girls were so excited about it that they played it Sunday night as soon as Spam got home. And it looks like quite a good and quite a fun little interesting novel game.
Yeah,
And I think that's something we've walked away from after Diceni and the fact that we've just bought into Wasteland Warfare is UK Games Expo. Probably not going to be miniatures for us. Board games, oh hell yeah.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know though. Never say never. I still want to do a Japanese
I'm not
themed
saying
game.
never. I'm just saying reduced likelihood.
Yeah, it's so difficult. I mean, some of you might be thinking, "What, Paul? You wouldn't buy Strength and Honor?" And the truth is, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready to buy into the historical thing yet. There are other things I want to explore some more bolt action and knowing what a rabbit hole historical games can be. I'm a little bit wary. Good though the rule set was, I don't think I'm quite ready to pull the trigger yet. Again, there may be a time, but now is not that time. So yeah, I'm jazzed for Partisan in a couple of weeks.
Dude,
What?
try a week and 3 days.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, Partisan at Newark on the 19th. So we're gonna go down there. We're gonna take microphones this time, and not be complete fucking arsewits. And hopefully we'll get some great footage and find some cool stuff to film. And again, maybe it'll be about the independent stuff and the little games, or maybe it'll be the bigger stuff. To be honest, even if we only end up talking to game clubs running display tables with really cool, wacky ideas, that'll still be a damn cool thing to do.
Well, again, it's historical because it's something we don't really cover here on the show.
No, I mean, that is one thing I will say with Diceni. There was a real contrast there. Like, a lot of the display games and the stuff going on is like the local clubs, which are very historical focused. Ket's Rebellion, bloody Mons Grappius, and yet the people, the game design stuff was very the opposite, unconventional, small boutique stuff. So it's a real show of contrasts, really, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Right, I only have 4 trees left to paint. Today has been a productive evening.
How are they looking now you're getting the paint down on them?
Well, should I wash my brush out and then we'll go down to my live cam?
Yeah, let's go live. Content display.
Go live, boys and girls. Wait for it. I'm just getting to it. Come on, Video Ninja. Of course, it's died.
Don't worry, I'll look up in a minute.
Give me a minute.
That's fine. You've got a minute. You've got plenty of minutes.
Join. Let's go. Start. Turn that shit off. Right, we should be in. We're in. No, not Brokeback Expo.
Oh, Ewok. That is fucking so getting done for the video.
When both you are hobbing, all we see is the tops of your heads. Well, tough titties, spam. We're getting on with stuff. We're being efficient.
To be fair, if you were busy hobbying, you wouldn't even be able to see the tops of our heads because you'd be looking at what you're working on. Stop being so idle.
There we go. How's that looking?
Shakos says Partisan is ace, but it can get a bit, here's another green table like. Do you go?
So yeah, we've gone from.
I see what you mean about it. It looks very yellow under your lights. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think an Agrax wash is required.
Yeah. As I say, a nice.
It's English uniform.
To be fair, mate, don't rule out Nuln. I think it'll still work even if you go sort of like really dark with the wash step.
Well, I'm thinking Agrax and then stipple on some Athonian, which is the green one,
Yeah,
to give it mossy.
yeah, it could do. Maybe.
So that's where we're at. And then hopefully in a week or two's time, we'll be coming to you from a studio that's actually fitted out and not this tiny little desk that I hobby on at the moment.
Yeah, because you're cracking on with Shay bloody
Getting shit
cookie, aren't you?
ordered, yeah.
The fucking the gaming den is getting fucking sorted.
Built. Means I can actually set stuff up properly. I mean, again, boys and girls, we have a chair now. We have no creaking.
That's true. Nobody had commented on the absence of creak. And to be fair, I hadn't even perceived that it had gone. But yeah, you got, what is it, your bargain £40 gaming chair off bloody Amazon or whatever it was.
Yes, I did. Yes, the sepia is a bit orange Shakos though. Boys and girls, I'm going to turn the fucking brightness down on my overhead camera so that we can actually see this guy. We have printed the first miniatures from the Titan Forge Dwarven thing that I backed.
How they come out?
Dwarven
they look good.
They look
ding dong.
amazing.
The squeak is gone.
So we've got a Stormcaller or whatever it is, and an engineer. The bases I'm not overly happy with. They're just a bit plain and samey.
Yeah, they don't look inspiring, to be fair. Dwarves!
At the end of the day, these two are being done for Frostgrave. So I have an enchanter.
You see, do you know what, Shakos?
And his apprentice.
Is it this stuff? The Game Wash Dipping Formula by Valajar.
The black, you've got the black there, haven't you? And I have got the sepia somewhere.
Is that the two colours it comes in? Because I've borrowed this off our man David there, Mr. Cookie, because I wanted to use it exactly as you've just said there. I wanted to try it on some of the MDF terrain that I have far too much of, because obviously washing MDF is pretty important to make it look less flat, but it's obviously hideously expensive to use good quality wash. I've tried the homemade wash thing with cheap paint and a bit of fucking dish soap, and I'll be honest, none of my homemade recipes have really, they've never really been quite right for me. They always look a bit crap.
While Shakos is here, I've used that black in anger twice. One time came out really nice, really matte. Second time came out glossy AF. Do you find that happens with the sepia?
Tell you what, though, he does say the black is not great. The sepia is the good one. Ah, are they the only two colours it comes in?
Believe so, mate.
When you say Shakos, just so that I am forewarned is forearmed, in what way is the black not great? Is it too dark? Does it not go on very well?
Not with the sepia. He's had it happen with the black. So the black can go glossy AF.
Okay, so you had exactly the same trouble as David. Okay. Ha! Okay.
It's a shame because it's a really good price point. We can go away from my desk cam now.
Yeah,
sir.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, you can't fault it for price. What do you get? Fucking 200 mil for
$7.99 for 200 mil. It's fucking insane value. It's the same volume as the surface primers.
That's something else I need to buy. I want to get a couple of the coloured surface primers. For Vallejo.
Actually, that's a question for the boys and girls while we're waiting for the end of stream, and we can come to it next week while we have a think. European Airborne, British Airborne. What coloured polyurethane primer do I need to prime them motherfuckers? Because they don't do middle stone in Vallejo surface primer.
What you trying to do? Save a step.
Yeah. But have a think and tell me next week if you're here. Or in the comments.
Or is he trying to be too fucking ambitious? And does he just need to use like Ghost Grey and then use Middlestone as a paint layer?
Forewarned is half an octopus, apparently. I thought that was 4 arms, mate.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying. Forewarned is that, which is half an octopus.
I've just realised I can lay right back in this fucking chair. Like, right back. It's insane how low this fucker goes.
Oh my god.
It's comfy AF as well.
And okay, Shakos, we're gonna have to, and I take it that the way you say it has the glossy problem from time to time, that you've not worked out what's the trigger. So it's not like a problem you can avoid, because it's like just seems to be random. That's a little annoying.
I wonder if taking a 50mm out and adding just some fucking matte medium in.
I'll be honest, I'm not too arsed,
medium.
because if it does go tits up, I can just matte varnish the piece of terrain with some of the AK stuff. It's annoying that it'll be another step.
It's the mixing, but the bottle's a bit leaky, so you don't want to shake it too much.
Do you know what? Yeah, that's exactly what's happened to David's. You probably can't.
It's all leaked down the side, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fucking weird that you would both find the same thing. I don't know if I can actually put my camera on now. Let's have a look.
Which is a bit reactive. Oh, right. I've had Agrax and a few black paints where the matting agent has separated out and solidified on the bottom. Let's get these last 4 trees painted, and then that's one more step of this done. Paul, feedback loop.
Yeah, I've got it. It's because I've restarted my phone.
No, I know.
I
was just sat in.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, this is the stuff we're talking about in the chat. So it's a Vallejo. It's described as a dipping formula game wash, and I imagine you're supposed to use it. That's another question, Shakos. Have you used it like a dip, or do you just use it like a conventional wash? And next question, do you thin it, or do you use it literally as it comes out the bottle? Agrax and a few black paints where the matting agent is separated. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's exactly. But you said about it being leaky. Obviously, I've borrowed this off our boy David, and he's obviously had the same issue because this has got fucking shit plastered all down it, where the lid's fucking given up. And how does it work as a dip? Is it like, no, it doesn't really work? Or, because to be fair, I don't even use Army Paint to dip as dip. I did try that the first few times I used it, but the beading, the actually getting enough excess off the model so that you don't get beading is too much of a ball ache. So I just go through applying it with the shittiest brush I can find, because I just find you need the control. I don't know if you found the same. But it's gone 10 o'clock. Look at that with us gas bagging. Right, guys, we can't sit here all night talking crap. So the black I thin for terrain, but I don't thin the sepia very often. Just use it for ground and slap it on for a quick dry brush. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is, mate. But it does a great job. And if you want bulletproof miniatures that are never going to chip, fucking go for it. I'm a fan of dip. I think it's great for what it does and great for what it is. I know there's a lot of people that think it's an archaic product that should be consigned to the pits of hell. But I think it's got its value. Talking of which, but I think it's got its value. So we're gonna call it. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you, as usual, to the guys in chat over here. These are the real stars of the show. It's fantastic to share another couple of hours with you guys. I managed to get some work done, which is I've now only got 2 left to do the mahogany brown on, and then we can get the skulls painted. And then we can do the bases, and then we're done. So I should get these ready for Monday. If I'll get any snow effect on them, I don't know, but they'll be done otherwise.
I haven't got a tent, sir.
Oh, he hasn't got a tent. Okay, we may have a problem then. So that means I've got to scratch build a tent as well then by Monday.
Well, I can. Don't sigh at me like that.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Bitch.
I'll work something out. Okay. Right, guys. If you can find time to do only one thing, please click the like button. Obviously, if you can find time to do all of the other shit that's listed under the like button, then that's amazing. But a like is all that we ask for here at Yellow Belly Tabletop. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel for the Diceni video. Again, if you can't stand the audio, just go straight to the video description and start clicking on the links to see some of the cool shit that we saw at Diceni. And we will see you in a week's time for another live stream here on YouTube. Not sure what the topic will be. We'll have a think about it, won't we, mate?
Here's one. Homework for boys and girls. If you ever have any stellar stream ideas, throw them in the comments.
Yes, that is such a good shout. Obviously, we've been doing this for a while now, and that even people like us who love the sound of our own voices and talk bollocks almost semi-professionally, run out of things to talk about. So if you do have any super cool ideas for themes for our live stream or topics for our live streams, yeah, comments. Right, that's it. We've overrun. We need to go because I'm tired
boys and girls.
and I have beer to drink. Cheers, everybody.